Then I heard my neighbor's double-bagged dead body being dragged down the narrow staircase, because a stretcher wouldn't fit. What is the most ducked-up thing you have eavesdropped? Sitting behind two teenagers on the train. Guy, you let him come inside of you? Girl, well, not all the way. I finally understand teen pregnancy. I woke up around midnight on Easter when I was about 6 to hopefully get a glimpse of the Easter bunny. Only to hear my mom crying to my dad on the phone to come get my brother and I because she has no money to get us any chocolate. They were divorced. She was hysterical. I went back to bed and pretended to be surprised when my dad was there in the morning to come get us. He told us that the Easter bunny got mixed up about what house we were going to be at. Overheard my wife saying, "You look really handsome, babe." She was on a FaceTime call with the guy she was cheating on me with, and didn't hear me come in early from work. Still the hardest thing I've ever heard. I listened in the hallway for a few minutes, then packed a bag and left. 10 years of marriage and we have a 2-year-old. It's pretty insane. Edit, thanks for all the love. I moved out, divorce is final in October. She moved in with him. Life's rough sometimes. It'll get better. Overhearing a girl I had a huge crush on in high school sophomore year talk to her friends about her boyfriend fisting her so hard she pooped a little on his arm. The level of my crush on her deflated a bit after that. An old Jewish couple was arguing at the grocery store about whether or not they should buy X brand of cookies, even though Y brand was 50 cents cheaper. The man said if he had married Edith instead of his wife, Edith would have let him get the nicer brand of cookies. His wife replied she could have married Xavier and actually been wealthy and not living in a rat-infested apartment. WTF. I had a coworker, female, who liked to give graphic detail of her sex life to another coworker, gay man. He would, then in turn, come tell the rest of us who didn't overhear. Most of them were in cubicles that were sectioned off. So she told him a story about how she was just ducking her daddy, and in the course of anal, his condom came off. She only told the story because that morning when she took a crap, out came the condom that had been in her colon for a couple of days. I was listening to 2 of my kindergarten students talk about Christmas the day before break. One asked, "Do you believe in Santa?" The other replied, "Yes, but he doesn't come to my house because I'm in foster care." Not the most ducked-up thing, but it gave me a chuckle while sitting in a mall bathroom. Brief summary of what I overheard 2 kids, late teens, saying in the men's room. "Oh, trans like men being women and stuff. I thought you were talking about translucent people. Invisible man crap. Nah dude, men becoming women. So like dressing like them? No, actually becoming a man or woman. Chicks becoming dudes too? How does that happen? Not just wearing different clothes?" The second kid then explains, in the vulgar and innocent way only a kid can, the process. What? They can do that, but they still can't hack the iPhone? I gotta agree with kid number 1 on that. I was a waitress and I just took an order from a table of students that were all above the age of 18. One of them seemed pretty dim with the questions she was asking me, but nothing too stupid. One of her friends ordered duck gyoza. As I walked away I heard her ask her friends what a duck was, and then start to explain. How the hell do you get to be over 18 and not know what a duck is? I was upstairs in the church organ loft looking through music on a quiet weekday. Downstairs I heard a conversation going on, so I peered over the loft railing and saw the pastor sitting in a pew, talking with a young female. She was telling him that she was strongly attracted to the church's deacon, a single guy, early 30s, and wanted to know if he would introduce them. I could tell that the pastor got flustered, because he had eyes on the deacon to become a priest, not to date women. For her part, the girl told the priest that she wanted to save the deacon from a boring life of celibacy. I only had her so I didn't have to go to work, my mother about my younger sister. Turns out that as I got old enough to need less supervision, my mother realized that she'd suddenly be expected to actually make financial contributions like a normal person. That clearly wasn't for her, so she accidentally got pregnant again. Took me a long time to realize what I'd actually heard. Edit, thank you all for the point to R, raised by narcissists, I will spend some time there. Equally thank you for the support. I'm aware she is a scumbag and this is just one example of how. We no longer speak, and a decade after making that decision I'm still glad of it. My husband and I were at McDonald's. We took our son to the place to try to let him burn off energy so we could finish grocery shopping. A mother was in there with her 3 kids. One by one she would make each one of them sit down and interrogate them. Where did your dad sit at the spring concert? Who did he sit by? Did he sit by Mason's mom? Did he talk to any of the other moms? Was he laughing and smiling when he talked to Carter's mom? Did you guys come right home afterwards? She was writing it all down. Each child was not allowed to go play unless they answered her questions. WTF? Worked at a summer camp for a few years. I'm convinced kids don't realize you can hear them even when you're in the same room literally 3 feet away unless you're looking directly at them. Best conversation I ever heard was between 2 9-year-olds. Kid 1, my brother is totally going through puberty and he's only 11. Kid 2, lucky. Kid 1, I know he even has armpit hair. Kid 2, if I had armpit hair I'd shave it off and glue it on my face. Kid 2, that's a great idea. Me, confused. Not ducked up, just sad. Around 2004 or 2005, I was at a meeting. During a bathroom break, I heard 2 men talking. One of them had a brother who was killed in the 9/11 attack on the Pentagon. Shortly after the attack, the brother's widow gave birth to their second child. A year or so later, the mother died of cancer. The man speaking adopted his brother's kids. He and his wife had never planned on having kids, but they stepped up to raise them. It was a big adjustment, but he loved the kids and was doing the best he could for them. My dad's girlfriend is a special education teacher. I heard her telling my dad about a student she had with Down syndrome. The kid had pretty bad parents and lived in the rough part of town. Anyways, he never brushed his teeth and as a result, his teeth were rotted and he had to get them all pulled. He was given pain medication, but his mother ended up taking all the pills herself. The boy would be in so much pain in class, that he would have to be taken out of class because he couldn't stop yelling. He yelled so much that the stitches in his mouth ultimately ripped. As far as I know, the boy still lives with his mother. I don't know why nothing was done about this. It makes me angry. Edit, I overheard this just last night. I'll be sure to ask my dad's girlfriend about specifics and hopefully, if no action has already been taken, see if something can be done. Update, I asked her about it. She did report it, but for some reason or another, the mother still has custody. She didn't go into it much, and acted as though it wasn't something she wanted to talk about. So I didn't ask further questions. When the police showed up at my door to tell me that my upstairs neighbor was dead, I overheard the EMTs say, "We're going to have to double bag him." Then I heard my neighbor's double-bagged dead body being dragged down the narrow staircase because a stretcher wouldn't fit. Thump, thump, thump. Honestly, based on my EMT friends, they are pretty desensitized to that stuff. Police officers, yeah, they were probably a little messed after that shift. EMT and paramedic. They crack jokes about that stuff and it never really affects them, they are first responders to the most messed up stuff. Just the other day, my friend was joking about this guy who got in a car accident and was scalped. They thought he was dead, so my friend walks up and goes, "Holy crap." The victim, still alive and coherent, looks up and says, "Is it that bad?" My friend just kinda chuckles and says, "Wheel. You ever see those old westerns where the Indians scalp the cowboys? You look like one of the cowboys right now." Or something along those lines. They both had a good laugh, and he assured him he'd recover and they'd get him out of there, but those guys see some stuff. Edit, seems a lot of people are focusing on the fact that I said they are desensitized to it. I understand that gallows humor is a coping mechanism and people are still affected by seeing blood, gore, and dead bodies. But honestly, if it is your job to be in those situations, you absolutely become desensitized to it compared to the general population. Just go find your local mortician or coroner. Like and subscribe for more funny, interesting, and scary r/ask Reddit videos.